All right.
So it's good. It's over Aspen.
Can you see me in the frame?
I'll take.
I can.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
like
great.
being in Macy's
All right.
window. I can see you in the frame, and I can see you in the frame.
Thank you. So I appreciate everybody being here. I'm going to go through some of the normal stuff, but a couple pieces that we really want to touch on. I got some information from Justin and from other, my other lenders that are in the area. So as far as the mortgage rate, it's expensive as all get out right now, but about 7%. 2 more rate hikes likely coming before the end of the year. We're not hearing a lot about rate hikes because for the most part, everybody's over it, right? Like that shock is gone, and the people that have a low interest rate are just staying. It's insane. They're just locked in. They're just not doing it. So really wild time on that part, and you are going to start seeing some wild stuff. Bad lenders are going to be out there promising the world, but also sellers are going to more often try to get their lender on the deal, right? I just went through a conference call yesterday with a high-level flipper who shall remain nameless, but that was a big thing, was preference was going to a buyer who would work with his lender because he's got a bunch of deals that are locked up in litigation for bad lending, and he doesn't want to return their down payment, and I don't necessarily blame him. So just be careful about this part. Pay attention to your cash buyers because they're really going to rule it. Boom. Susan Lombardi, Agent of the Month. She had a phenomenal month last month. It's all going to kind of tie in because her book of business really resonates with the people that are actually doing business. So this is everything that was listed from, wrong slide. God damn it. Did I not drop it? Wrong slide. Anyway, all right, move it. Under contract, this is from all of May. May was a phenomenal month, right? Everybody had a really, really good May. June really slowed down exponentially, which is surprising. I know it feels like the market is really, really hot, but really the market only benefits the seller here. Big deal here. I just wanted to say congratulations. We got a lot of direct deals. When you see people, somebody on both sides, right, of this, you got direct deals going on, but there isn't one person who really dominates. So I just wanted to reflect back to you, I got some great compliments about our office because they look at the office like on a whole as far as numbers, and this office is very balanced in comparison to a lot of other offices where you have like 1 or 2 people that run away with everything and the rest of the people have like 1 or 2 deals. But we have a very balanced office here, which they asked me, Josh, why do you think that is? I was like, well, one, we collaborate, we get along, right? So there isn't like a toxic person holding all of the inventory in the office. I think we share a lot. So congratulations on that. You guys earned all that stuff. I'm going to jump right into the professional development. So I stole this from Brian Jada, who said 10% different equals 100% better. It's really crazy tight, right? The market is incredibly challenging, and I think it's going to stay that way for the rest of the year is my expectation. So I'm feeling it too. Like, let's get into some numbers. Anybody read this Elliman report?
Of course.
Right, of course not. I didn't either. I'll be honest. I overlooked this thing because some of them can be, I've always interpreted them as overwhelming. They're actually really good, I gotta say. And it took Brian Jada going back and forth in our last meeting, how many people read this? And don't lie to me. Not a hand went up in the room, right? And I was like, And he goes, it's okay. He's like, it's all right, I wanna know, but we should get back into it. Douglas Elliman pays like $1 million a year. It's crazy to have all of these market reports. This was big news. And when Brian gave me the language, I used it a bunch over the weekend. Huge difference. So the big news was that 2 things happened at the same time. So if you look at your reports, and we can email these all out, you can run ads against this, you can print this out and put it into flyers, you can order nice trifolds from Express Docs, all this stuff. You do have to kind of teach people how to read this, right? So if you print it out and you circled this little part and told them why this is important, just like I do my monthly market email out to my group, and I put a little video behind it because I tell people what the hell it means, right? Not everybody is a nerd like me, but what happened this son of a bitch? What happened was two things decreased. Your average sale price went down 3.6%. And your number of transactions went down. So if you're feeling year over year, number of sales is down 33.7 on Long Island, right? So if you're like, oh, I'm 40% below where I was last year, that's normal. So is everybody else. Very few people are having a runaway year. We're just bound up, right? We're locked in between. People are unsure. Liz, you said the same thing. She goes, I'm going to wait until the market, see what happens with the market. It's so bizarre.
I explained to her that if the rates go up, it's going to be even worse. So let's keep our eye out.
My people ask me a lot, like, what would you say here? I'm always asking a question. I go, okay, what are you waiting to see? Right? Like, there's always my first boss I used to yell at him because every time I asked him a question, he would ask me a question back. I'm like, just give me right? I said, just give me a goddamn answer, right? And he goes, well, no, I'm trying to dial it down, right? So when somebody tells you something like that, I'm just waiting to see what the market happens, what happens with the market, right? So an objection is just an unanswered concern. That's all it is, right? I want to think about it. What do you want to think about? So that objection just means that we haven't brought them information. So I would ask Helen, what are you waiting for, right? What are you looking to happen, right? Prices go down and then rates go up to 8.5. You go like, you don't really know, right? We don't. So I dig into right away. People go, well, what's up with the market? I go, what's happening with your life? My immediate answer, because I go, well, what do you mean? I go, well, real estate is a byproduct of a life change. So is it a good time? Depends on what's happening in your life. I don't really know, right? But when these two things happen, creates good opportunity. When prices go down and transactions go down, we're going to see a lot of different things happen. In the real estate world, we'll probably see a couple mergers coming is my expectation. Because how do we make our money? How do we earn money?
Brokerages you talk.
Yeah, realtors, how do we earn our money?
Commission sales.
Which is based on sale price. It's a percentage of sale price, right? So when we have less transactions and less sale price, it has a compound. The commissions start to evaporate exponentially, right? So these, I would expect Realty Connect and Charles Rutenberg will probably merge, right? Because if you're only getting 10% of the deal gross, minus your overhead, and then all of a sudden you drop 40%, minus sale price go down, there's no revenue left, right? I just read the other day on social media, I follow a Realty Connect agent that lives in my area. She goes, we just opened our 24th office. I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, that was silly.
And if they connect, if Realty Connect and Charles merge, what does that do to us?
Nothing. Doesn't really affect it. So I'm just saying, when you see less consolidations happen, look at Coach and Howard Hanna.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw that on
Right?
So I don't know what is Harold Hanna? What is that?
They're
Exactly.
very big in other parts of the country.
They're like top 5 in the country, believe it or not. They're just nowhere here. Right? So in talking with some of those agents, I go, I just asked them. I know what it was about, but I was like, what do you think? Like, oh, well, we merged to increase our reach. I'm like, no, you got bailed out because you were underwater. So Howard Hanna was like, they made a strategic move to try to get a footprint here on Long Island.
Good move for them.
It was a good move for Harold Hanna. Yep. I mean, for Coach, it was just a bailout. So that's just going to be like the first of many. You're really gonna see.
Carp didn't buy it, right? He went somewhere else, right?
That's right. Yeah. So Carp went to Coldwell because he had an equity share, and then when they sold, I think that was going to evaporate, and they were going to change his deal. So I have some respect for him, but he's very mercenary. Like he'll just go where the money is,
Yeah.
right? He doesn't care about anything.
Okay, he's not coach anymore then?
No.
No. No.
And he's not solo anymore. He's like team.
Right. He's like, yeah, he's got like 11 people on these mega teams. But anyway, so loaded question, what do you see, what opportunity do you see on the other side of this?
On the other side of the decline in price.
Decline of prices, decline in
A
transactions.
lot of agents are gonna leave the business.
A lot of agents are leaving,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
We already lost 60,000 so far this year. 60,000?
Skill time right now. Like, I really think it's skill time. You're not getting it because you're cute anymore.
No, every transaction is hard.
I'm done.
You're done.
Like, it's an uphill battle for me too, man. Every transaction is difficult, right? The people that are going to get the deals are the ones that have the skill set. So yeah, you got to be a skillionaire to be a millionaire. Look to the investor. So when both of those things roll over, right? So when price and transactions fall, look to the tired investor. So prices begin to fall. Can you imagine, could you imagine if you owned 20 homes and prices dropped 4%? You lost a lot of money, right? Yeah. So we're seeing it for those that are at the tail end of their transactions. I have a transaction, and I know the neighbor. I was talking to the sellers, and I said, "Oh yeah, Mr. DeLuca, he said he's going to die in that house." They were like, "You know, he owns a bunch of other houses," and he was talking about retiring. So I called him. I said, "Mr. DeLuca, I'm just calling. Did I get it wrong? Or did I misremember that you own a couple of rental properties? I hear you say that." And he was like, "No, that was right." I go, "Okay, do you have any plans for those properties in the future?" And he was like, I don't quite know yet. I was like, "Oh, okay," because prices rolled over and they went on the downturn. He goes, "How much?" I'm like 4%. He goes, I said, what do you have? He goes, I got 3 2-families, and then I have another one in Smithtown. So I'm looking at $4 million for my whole portfolio. When you do the math on that guy's losing a ton of money. And then I start digging. Mr. DeLuca, would you want to just cash out, or would you hold a private mortgage, or which would you do? Right? I start digging. He goes, I probably would just cash out. I said, I know you're not leaving anytime soon. Reverse sell. And he goes, nah, let's keep in touch. I'm like, okay. He doesn't want to show me his cards, right? But that's a real concern. It wasn't until I said prices rolled over. He goes, how much? Right? They lose their portfolio. So when prices begin to fall, those people, I got another call over the weekend. Guy owns 50 homes. His wife had a little bit of a health scare, plus he owns 50 homes, and he was like, we didn't get to finish our conversation. My guess is he's going to look to start moving a portion of those. Bo, anybody know Bo from Central Suffolk? Okay, so Bo does 25% of his business or so was investors. So he had an investor that was letting one house go. He had a buyer who was looking to buy a bunch. He threw it out to the other investor. Would you sell any more of your houses? The guy goes, well, what do you got? You got a bundle buyer? He's like, I do. He goes, I'll sell 4. Whew. Did off-market direct deal 5 houses, same seller to same buyer. 4% round trip on all of those. He goes, I'll cut you a deal. He did all that stuff off market. There's a lot of that stuff happening, right? Clear cooperation. The other side of that is you don't know about it. There's a fair amount of transactions that are happening. So anybody jump on John McSherry's investor class that he did a couple weeks ago? Either way, I only got one class in because it was just at a bad time of the day for me. Thankfully, the universe brings you what you are supposed to have. Here is 3 different spots where they pull investor data. HOA vacant, Adam data, share group. You can do non-owner occupies, deep equity, right? Non-owner occupied, deep equity, empty nesters. You can target all these little things. So what would you offer? What are your kind of things that you're going to offer them? So occupied buyers, which means buyers that will take it occupied. All right, I'm working one, another person chased me. I'll send the slides up. Occupied buyers, right? So I go, hey, the opposite side, if I own 50 homes, that's a first world problem, but I have a problem is, how do I find buyers for all of that stuff, right? So if I can buy it in a bulk, I'll go, oh yeah, I'll buy 10 out of your profile, take them all occupied. I can either take those in my own portfolio, or we can break them up, get, incentivize those things to become vacant. We can do small renovations, right? Throw them back out on the market. So for me, greater reach. Sometimes these investors have stuff in multiple states. I'll solve all of it through relocation. I go, give me your whole book. Give me your whole spreadsheet of all the properties that you own. I'm going to find your realtors. We'll sell all of it at the same time. Let me know which ones you want. Occupied, vacant, seller financing, or not. Let me know. They go, you can do all that? I'm like, I can do anything. Let's do some business. Seller financing. I keep hammering away on this, but I'm going to put 2 of these together this month for myself. Investors want to get out. They want to sell it occupied. I was like, will you hold a note? They go, oh, tell me about it. I got 2 of them. They're going to hold 90%. 90% LTV, no private mortgage insurance.
And they're checking your credit and everything, right?
No, I'm just going to fall.
They report it to your credit, right?
Right, no. That's the win. So, like, not to curse, but I'm going to fall ass backwards into 2 great deals only because I just asked, would you hold a note? And the guy's like, I never heard of that before. What does that sound like? So I worked him through it. I go, hey, would you like to take your $175,000 sale and turn it into a $225,000 sale? He goes, how is that? I said, you wait 5 years for all your money. He's like, what? I go, year 1, you're going to get $11,000 in interest. Year 2, 10.5. Year 3, 10. He's like, what the hell? Right? I said, and then.
Can you give us a printout?
Yeah.
Like that whole form?
I will happily do it. Yep. I'll show you how I do. We'll do a whole scenario. I'll record it. It is Magic Maker because I put 2 things in there, right? I go, if you just sell outright today, you're going to have a capital gains implication. So the government takes 35% of whatever your profit is. That sucks, right? So if I go, hey, if I showed you how you can make more money in interest by delaying that, then we can set up another offsetting taxable event in year 5 when my balloon payment comes up. Would you be interested in that? They're like, yeah, all the time. So that's a big deal. And also 1031 experts, right? Somebody's got a big book of business. I didn't realize this. I go, just 1031. That's a pain in the ass. It is a pain in the ass. And then I had a couple guys get stuck. They were stuck. They lost the bid on where they were parking their money, and now they're scrambling for all different stuff. I did turn them over to Matt, who's a smart guy, with the Delaware Statutory Trust. I go, all else fails, drop it into the Delaware Statutory Trust, the DST. They're like, I didn't even know that existed. I go, create some breathing room, right? If you know these little things, I think 25 to 40% of the next 12 months of my personal business will come in this realm. I just had 2 conversations this morning. This is where to go. I've talked about this a million times. Lost a bidding war, you got to do this everywhere. So there are a lot of people that want to sell. They do. They're just scared because they don't know where they're going to go, right? I had the 62 Tyler Drive, which is coming soon for 2, bless you, coming soon for 2 weeks. They were like, we would like to go out to the open market, but we don't want to leave till the end of September, but we know the market's moving so fast, I think we're going to wait. I'm like, wait. And I just talked them back through the timeline. I go, average days on market is 54, plus 45 to 60 day deal cycle time. I'm like, we're there. She goes, oh my God, I had no idea. I thought it was just going to go fast. I go, contract, closing, and giving up occupancy are 3 separate and distinct things. She goes, I had no idea. Right? They don't know, and they need you. You just got to spark a conversation. So I know working with buyers sucks, right? But it's not that it sucks. It's challenging. It is. So you were standing up.
Challenging to reel them in to let them understand.
Because it's not fun for them. And I feel for them to a certain extent. It's not fun. So you were at an open house, a 4-hour open house. You were there twice with 2 different buyers.
I went at the very early before it started, 11:15, and then I went again at the end, 2:45. 25 people out the front door the whole 4 hours in Babylon. It was listed at $539, 3-bedroom ranch.
Yep.
But I had a beautiful, beautiful backyard. And that's what, that house is going over 6. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody goes $650 cash or It's not gonna appraise over 6.
Right. But just crazy offers. So the opposite side of that, right, is create some opportunity out of that. So I bet of all those agents that were standing online, none of them will take the extra time to do this, right? I was on conference call this weekend with one of our colleagues and the seller. It was a $450 list price, $515 was their bid, right? That's $65,000. So they're not going to get it, which is batshit crazy. Let's just call it what it is. I would be going right out there and go, dear neighbors, my clients, put the name in there. This is actual friends, Sean and Karina, offered $50,000 over asking for your neighbor's home, and they did not win the house. If you know anyone thinking of moving, would you please call me with their name or address? Sean and Karina can close whenever, and they are highly motivated. I really need your help to make a difference for their family. Much appreciated, Josh Wally. Just like this, I wrote it crooked on purpose. Copy that thing, fold it up, and put it in. Instead of doing your 10-10-20s, do that everywhere. There is whenever a listing comes on the market, it's 6 times more likely that another home within 20 homes of that will come on the market within the next 3 months. That's why we do 10-10-20s. It's in the math, right? If you do this, you will get a call and you can unlock and unpack the deal, right? And almost every buyer will wait. They'll pay good money and they'll wait just to know they got a house. Just got to do the extra work. Okay, too busy? Ask a newer agent. They got time. There's plenty of people, agents in here, that just don't know to do this, don't have a buyer that they're working, and that's how you can leverage. Your own buyer. Normally, I don't really like buyers because you can't leverage them, right? You can only put one buyer in your car. Can you imagine you have both those buyers going to the open house at the same time?
It's the first time it ever happened, and the funniest part is when the second one asked to see it, I said, wait, that address sounds familiar, and then I looked, and he goes, oh, I have a question for you, because he had a lot of questions. What happens if there's another buyer that wants the same house? I said, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. That's never happened to me before.
Right, there it is. Crazy market, right? I mean, well, we got 15-to-1 ratio, 15 buyers to 1 house. So do this type of stuff. But yep.
Can you copy that and just send it?
Yeah, I'm going to send all these slides out to everybody. Yep. Terry and I went on a listing presentation for a beautiful house. They want to sell. They already know where they're going. Just wasn't quite there yet, right? They were like,
Going there tomorrow night with the buyer.
okay.
One of my buyers.
So they were scared to put their house on the market because it was going to sell too fast. So I had to walk them through and unpack all that stuff. We finally got down to what the actual one piece, the objection, is they have an open timeline because they're building a house. So it could be 9 to 15 month timeline, right? That's hard to overcome, right? So, but we found the actual point, like once they get HOA approval to build the house, they'll put their house on the market. Then we can slow the transaction down because it's always easier to slow a transaction down than it is to speed it up. How do we speed up a transaction? Only way to do that is to reduce price. Compressed price, right? So price and time have an inverse relationship. You price it high, it's going to take you a long time, right? You want to speed it up, go the other way. So when you say that, easier to slow a transaction down than it is to speed it up. And they go, why? Well, the only way to speed up a transaction is to compress price, just like selling out summer stock when October hits. They go, oh. And I go, let's not do that with your house. So put it on now and slow it down. Boom. Okay. Here's another one. So this guy's good looking.
Notice the bottom.
I pulled this. This is right out of my Canva, but this is size for the back page of Hometown Shopper. So, oh shit, it should say sellers wanted, sorry. Sellers wanted, yep. So real buyers with real needs for Riverhead. Put this back up. These are 3 people that I'm actually working with all of their specifics. I'll send it out to the whole group, but you can, go ahead, you can take a picture, it's all right. Put this on the back cover, right? So that is not like, I have a lot of buyers on cash, right? I'm talking about who they are by name, right? And so if I show up to that off-market property with Sean, and believe me, I love Sean, but I am not above being, hey brother, you know what you're doing Saturday? He's like, nope, you're coming with me and you're my straw buyer to get my ass in this FSBO. I don't really care. And we're gonna find some reason it doesn't work, right? Either way. But put this on the back page of, if you're doing any advertisements, put that on the back page. How many people have seen this in their driveway ever? Never, right? 10% different is 100% better. Also, this is Victor Stabile, right? It's Victor Stabile from Central Suffolk. Anybody ever get that guy from California who sends urgent buyer needs? Once a month he does it?
What's his name?
I'll send it back out to everybody. I can't remember off the top of my head. I read it every time. The shit do I know about California? But he has, the last one was like 13 buyers. It's very specific. Price up to 4 million. This side of the valley, blah, 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 blah. And he's got a big book of business and he sends it out to his whole database plus all the other realtors. That guy is different, for sure. Send this out to your database. You'd be surprised on how much backed up inventory is working. Al Dumincella has got a flip in Southold that he was having a hard time selling. I said, Al, do you want me to send it out to my database? He goes, yes, please. I went into Studio Pro. I pulled it up. I formatted the whole thing to him, put his freaking face, his name on it, and sent it out to my whole database. Fully renovated in Southold. Everybody's like, great listing. Congratulations, Josh. Nobody fucking reads, right? But my friend of mine goes, hey, that's above my price point, but I want to buy something from Mattituck to East Marion up to 7 if you find anything.
Right.
That was a free lead. He's up on my board right now. Just a little bit of stuff. So if you send this out to your database, someone's going to shake loose. They're just afraid to say something. They're just afraid. So you got to walk them back through it, right? Just got to create that conversation. Also, I would probably put something different as go, feel free to forward this to your friends and family. Any help I can get is appreciated. That little bit of different, this is working. So Brian did the same thing. He was like, he saw that email from the guy in California and it clicked in his head. So he's got his whole team doing it. How dare you? That was the start of Bo. When Bo did that to his database and he did his 4 deals or 5 deals together, it started here. And somebody in his database was like, yeah, I got one that matches that, which then turned into 5, right? So a little bit, the difference between ordinary and extraordinary.
That little extraordinary.
That's right. All right. Those are my Office fans. I did this for you, Chrissy Bogue. Know your rules. You better know your rules. Sorry. Okay, this was right in the update that we all click right over. Guilty. Okay. Once I got burnt on the land and it turned out that I clicked right over this message, I now read them. Well played. All right, so this came up over the weekend, right? I got a call. My brother got married on Friday. I'm at the wedding. I get a call. From who? Todd Borgard. I'm like, hey, Todd. He goes, what you doing? I'm like, just chilling at a wedding. No big deals. So anyway, there was a purchaser came to one of our branches complaining about, really what they were complaining about was the market and how incredibly competitive it is. But they said a key word, seems like buyers like me are being kept out.
Oh boy.
Dangerous, right? So now you think all the leverage goes to the listing agent? Well, now the target is on top of the listing agent, okay? Because when the market gets really, really rough, and it brought me right back to Laura Copersino. She told a little story, and she goes, oh yeah, she goes, every complaint to the DOS gets investigated. Sometimes it can be a year before it comes back. You don't even know what's out there, right? And most of the time, it's from upset buyers. It was the exact scenario that she talked about, and then she called that person to get it dropped because like they weren't pissed a year later. She's like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, I'll drop that thing. Didn't matter. That buyer said, shh, you're steering people and you're being selective about the type of people that buy in your community. If that goes up to the DOS, it's going to get investigated. So use showing time. Put all your showings through showing time. Communicate through the app because all that stuff gets recorded. Because a year later you're not going to remember and you're still going to have to defend yourself, right? And discrimination is not covered by errors and omissions insurance.
Damn.
Andrew Lieb is $1,000 an hour. That sucks. That's an expensive thing, right? So anyway,
You know, just because you're accused of it, though, doesn't mean you're guilty.
nope,
No,
but it
but-
does mean you got to defend it.
Defend it.
That's the thing.
Defend it.
We don't even want to have to defend it. Even if it's half-assed or half-baked complaint, they're going to dig into it. You got to go through this, and it's just like getting audited. It's terrifying, right? Even if your stuff is all straight and you got a sharp accountant, it's just like the foxes in the hen house, right? So no good. So anyway, I got another text message last night, and this other agent was like, "We're not showing anymore, or we're not showing. We'll let you know when that's going to occur. Should anything change?" I'm like, you can't just have a available listing and not show it, right? A lot of that stuff. So it's going to happen. The complaints are going to come, right? So use your temporary off the market or whatever, or get everything in writing from your clients. Please, please, please. Okay. Some are cool. We're almost done. You're welcome. Some are cool. So did everybody sign up? Okay. If you have, here's your sponsorship packets. If you have anybody, son of a bitch, if you believe should be there, any vendors that you should be there, it's a great way to get business. $500 to get in the door, but if you really work it, you'll make a significant amount of difference for that person. I went back through all the people that referred me business right this year, and I either got them in or I offered to sponsor them to get them in as a thank you back for sending me business. It's all about reciprocity, because I'm going to go there, like what I did last year was just talk to all you guys. I love all you guys, but we got to network and move all the stuff around. Everybody's got to come out of that with 5 cards from other people, and also take your vendors that give you business and make connections for them. That reciprocal business makes all the difference in the world. No title, no lenders. Just throwing that out there. No title, no lenders. So grab your sponsorship packets. We have as many, we'll take as many as possible. I have 2 open slots for the office. The All-In Group. So I got to give these 2 credit because they've been spending some time to get together, and we're like, look, we want to get together on a more consistent basis, exchange ideas, and I think share best practices, support each other in our struggles, because right now you got to work 40% harder for the same amount of deals, right? Just people are like, it's a lot of work. It is, right? And you can't out advertise this market. The only thing you can do is just outwork it. So here is on Wednesday mornings at 9:30. This is what we're going for. We're going to meet here in the office. It is not on Zoom. And we're going to go over, please take one. It is 12 weeks long. We have 12 different topics that we're going to cover about how to find business, generate business, and hold each other a little bit accountable to it. We got to get a little uncomfortable and do those money generating things, business generating things that are going to keep us afloat. And it is proven that just being around people that are working towards the top of their game, please hand those out, that you're just being around top producers makes you 20% better. Just being around them. Just being in this. Tomorrow morning, 9:30.
Oh, you're starting to.
Oh, you're starting tomorrow?
Okay, you want to do next?
Everybody's like, oh.
Yeah, you want to do tomorrow morning or next Wednesday?
I'm fine if anybody wants, I'm doing
do
it
it
every day
tomorrow.
now.
Okay.
I am being consistent.
Yep.
So if anybody wants to start tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning, 9:30. Let's not put it off.
Okay.
So it's going to consist of, there will be one video that you're going to watch that's in the Loom Tom Ferry video that's already there. It's recorded. You can watch it while it's driving. We're going to go over those lessons learned about it, talk about good points. Here for the farming core, after one of our meetings we did about picking your geographic farm with Lucky Realty.
Yeah, we watched that, I remember that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hated those people.
Yeah, the husband and wife.
I hated
They
them.
were annoying.
And I got a lot out of them. And I made a bunch of money following the same thing that they do. So my lesson learned there was, even if I hate them, there's value in there. Because those are people that are at the top of their game all across the nation coming through. So if you're going to come, you got to come. Okay? If you are going to come, email me today, I will send you back an invite to Illume. All right, so Illume is the Tom Ferry ecosystem that has all the trainings in it. It's free. I pay for that because that's gonna be part of the course. The framework for this is what we call the 554. It's really 5542, but I figured 554, which is 5 conversations inside your database, 5 new prospect conversations, and then 4 lead follow-ups, current leads. That is what everybody is preaching in Tom Ferry. If you want to stay alive, this is what your day needs to look like. So everybody that comes will order you a binder, and we'll track each day, where are they coming from, who are you talking to. We're going to go over those pieces. So even if you're not meeting the 554, because
It's hard to do.
it's hard to do. So I sent this to Travis. I said that the other day, it stuck for him. If you shot for the stars and you got the moon, you still left the earth. That's a big deal, right? So if you're tracking your 554s, but you did 322, still a decent day, right? Better than a 000, which if we don't pay attention to it, that's what happens. That's what happens. And you'd be surprised how much of your life will slip away if you're not paying attention to it, right? So tomorrow morning, 9:30, in there. We'll keep it brief. I'm not leading it. Liz is leading it. You're welcome. So it's safe to come. All right. Anybody have a deal, need a deal? Have a deal, need a deal.
I have both.
Go ahead.
All right, I have a house in Hop Hog, 699 High Ranch. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Anybody have a buyer? It's a huge high ranch, 2 apartments downstairs, built-in pool, and then an enormous garage that could be a house on the property that has a CO, and then another 100 feet of property behind that. Needs a little work, but that's $699. But I mean, the space is amazing for, people that want
Big family. Okay.
taking pictures on that on Friday.
Okay.
They're about 14.
Okay. So big accessory apartment. Also, if you have people that need, you can add 75% of the potential rent for that accessory unit to their household income. All right. So if you have buyers, right, they can afford a little bit more house by using the accessory structure. So $650 a month gets you $100,000 worth of purchase price. If you got a 1-bedroom, it's going for like 18 grand, right?
2 one-bedroom apartments.
2 1-bedroom apartments. Shoot, that's like 50% of your mortgage paid for, right? So think outside the box with your people that need a little bit of extra love. Anybody else got anything? Need a deal? Anybody have a buyer they can't satisfy?
I have a $700,000 buyer. I know, right? My big one is a $700,000 buyer looking for a ranch with a built-in pool.
Where?
East Islip, West Islip, Babylon.
Bring up the hot pot.
Put him the hop
He
out.
doesn't like
Okay.
hot dog. And he's a single guy, that's why he wants a ranch. House is too big. It's a perfect price point, but I don't know what to do with all that.
Put 'em in the
Yep.
garage.
And so even if somebody else has a buyer that's in your farm area, so everybody should have a farm area and doubling down in that farm area, use that letter with their buyer's name, call me, and you guys can put an off-market deal together. I'll help you put that together. Chris Bacchus, who was at Pride, did you catch that conversation at Pride?
Yeah.
With Chris Bacchus? And so he had a newer agent who kind of fell backwards into a family deal, and it was family buying for family, and Chris structured the deal and paired it in a 6% commission for his agent. It doesn't matter. People don't know how to do it. They will pay us handsomely to have their family be successful. It was a huge deal. Otherwise, it was going to go to somebody else, whatever. Either way, go ahead.
I was going to ask you, can you start a group text with all of us?
Yes.
I was talking about this with Luna in my other office. It was great because the minute I get a new listing or you get it, you just put it in the text, hey, does anybody have a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom coming up in Massapequa or whatever?
Yeah, you should do that.
It really works great.
Okay.
The emails are great too, but there's so much. Those emails, I don't know about anybody else. I am overwhelmed by the Douglas Elliman emails.
Yeah.
I gotta figure a way how to sort them because
Just ignore them.
I only look for certain ones. I'm going to be
I know,
honest.
but then
Yeah.
I end up missing business ones that I need.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Linda, I sent you an email 3 days ago.
I unsubscribe them. A lot of them are.
I gotta-
they-
Mm.
There's gotta be a way to
just
separate.
block
But anyway, the text just within our office, I think was hugely helpful.
Okay. I'm not opposed to
Good
it.
idea.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? No? Go make a bunch of money. That's it.
Thanks, Josh.
You're welcome.